The fluorescent lights of the hospital room hummed a low, constant tune. Sarah's eyes traced the line running into her brother, Ben's, arm. He looked so small, so pale against the crisp white sheets. His once vibrant, boisterous laughter felt like a distant memory, replaced by the rhythmic beeps of the machines monitoring his fragile life. For months, they had been a family holding its breath, waiting for a miracle as Ben's kidneys failed. When the doctors told them he needed a transplant, Sarah didn't hesitate. She was a match. The decision was instantaneous, driven by a love so fierce it drowned out any fear. She was his older sister, his protector, the one who had always looked out for him. This was just another chapter in a lifelong commitment. The day of the surgery, a quiet peace settled over her. As they wheeled her to the operating room, she squeezed her mother's hand and smiled. "I'll be fine, Mom. And so will he." Hours later, she awoke to a dull ache in her side, a physical reminder of the part of herself she had given away. But the pain was insignificant compared to the relief in her heart. The first time she saw Ben after the surgery, he was still groggy, but a faint flush had returned to his cheeks. His hand, which had felt so cold and clammy for so long, was now warm as he held hers. In the weeks that followed, they recovered side by side. Sarah's pain was a constant presence, but it was a pain she welcomed. It was a tangible link to the life she had saved. She watched as Ben's energy returned, as the color came back to his face, and as his laughter once again filled the house. One evening, Ben found her sitting alone on the porch, watching the sunset. He sat down beside her, a look of profound gratitude in his eyes. "I don't know how I can ever thank you, Sarah," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Sarah wrapped an arm around his shoulders and pulled him into a hug. "You already have, Ben. You're here. That's all the thanks I'll ever need." And in that moment, under the fading light of the setting sun, they weren't just a sister and a brother. They were two people bound by a love deeper than blood, a love that had literally given life. It was a love story with no grand gestures, just a quiet, profound act of sacrifice that had written a new, healthier chapter for them both. The story of the sister's sacrifice to save her brother's life through a kidney donation resonates deeply with the biblical verse John 15 verse 13. "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." In this verse, Jesus speaks about the ultimate act of love and self-sacrifice. While the sister in the story did not physically die, she laid down her life in a profound way. She willingly underwent a major surgery, endured pain, and took a significant health risk to save her brother. Her act was a physical manifestation of this verse's spiritual truth, that the greatest love is one that sacrifices a part of oneself for another's well-being. This connection highlights the selflessness of her act and places it within a timeless framework of love, sacrifice, and devotion.